Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Aries Sky Readerly's video blog. I'm Aries Sky, also known as Fleet Admiral Krabby McCoffee. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up button. If you're coming back, or welcome. Well, we have a breaking news here. I was sitting here finishing my dinner, and I was wondering if they were going to rule for the people, but Supreme Court lets President Trump pause full SNAP benefits now. That means, what does it mean? Well, let's read the article so we can understand. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson on Friday temporarily paused a lower court order. Hold on a sec. Here we go. Lower court order required the Trump administration to cover full food stamp benefits for tens of millions of Americans in November, siding with the administration on a short-term basis in a legal fight that has quickly become a defining confrontation of the government shutdown. Wow! So a liberal justice decides, well, you know, African-American, by the way. She is very pretty for her age. The upshot is the Department of Agriculture will not have to immediately honor a lower court order which requires a transfer of $4 billion to be spent on the program by the end of the day. So, some red states aren't going to get any money. The decision, while temporary, could put at risk of full benefits for the millions of Americans who rely on the program to feed themselves and their families. The order does not resolve the underlying legal questions raised by the case, and the administration has already committed to using its contingency funds to partially pay funds. Rather, Jackson's administrative stay freezes any additional action by the administration to give an appeals court additional time to review the case. Wow, so it's going to the appellate court again. Jackson is the justice assigned to handle emergency appeals from the first U.S. Courts of Appeal. Wow. So, there you go. So Ketanji Jackson Brown turns around and says, and I quote, we're going to do this funnily, of course, and I quote, let me turn my volume off for a second here, so in case we get an error, I don't want any copyrights. Alright. And I quote, well, she put an administrative stay because, well, it's the right thing to do to the American people. Right, so anyone who has benefits is probably sitting there right now without benefits. Yes, let me see here. Yeah, it tells me right there I don't have a live stream going. Come on, man, what's wrong with the live stream? It's telling me I don't have one. Oh, here we go. Alright, so anywho, so basically, there you go. So, what's going on? Well, there you have it, preppers. Apparently, the American people have spoken, and now we're going to see what's happening. I'm probably going to get a lot of email. Oh, Rita, you're a bigot. I didn't say I was a bigot. The kids aren't going to be eating. Apparently, the Project 2025 people maybe are happy. I don't know. I mean, I have no clue what's going on. All I know is right now they're like, what are we going to do? Don't know. Will they do something? Don't know. Will it happen? I have negative clue. Will we be worried about it? Probably. I mean, think about it. This is breaking news. I mean, I bet you my brother Ted's like, oh, yeah, I got fully paid. Oh, yeah. Well, we don't know what's going to happen, okay? They could retract it. So you may have a negative balance, or they may just tell you you're not getting your food stamps. I mean, thing is, with the food stamps, they could have raised the price in groceries, too. I've been looking at the shopping cart. Let's see here. So, let's see here. So, I'm just going to look and see. Nope, hasn't gone up yet. But, apparently they're saying any states that have already given it needs to probably retract it. We'll find out what that means. Hold on, let's look. I mean, there's a lot of answers. What's going to happen? So apparently they're still going to process it, apparently. So apparently the Supreme Court has frozen it or whatnot. I mean, we don't know how it's going to play out, but I would say if you got your payments, you better cash in before it runs out, because they're going to probably try to pull your food stamps and stop it, possibly. I mean, my brother Ted would be like, oh, they're not going to do anything. Once it's in your card, you get to keep it. Right. So, Chloe, yeah, so Chloe is like, we better basically place orders and get it done. Yeah, see? So technically the Supreme Court's literally basically saying the administrative stay. And by the way, has anyone ever answered the big question, the administrative stay that is, how long? Yeah, think about it. How long is the government shut down for? How long is the government going to stay shut down? Or how long until SNAP benefits? I mean, remember, Donald Trump said, oh, this ain't a political ploy, you know, it's, the thing is, Donald Trump is right. A lot of you people messaged me and said, I'm a bigot because, you know, I'm saying Donald Trump's right. No, he's not literally right. It's just the Constitution says if we can't pay benefits unless we have a budget reconciliation or a continued resolution or 12 appropriation bills, which are the USDA's appropriation bills bundled with other things to pay the food stamps. We can't just sit there. I mean, literally. A lot of people are like, we're going to, and, you know, there's another video I'd like to address later, but, you know, there's a lot of people out there messaging me, you know, I have an office, you know, you guys know I run it in the office too, and they're like, well, the government's going to collapse in the United States. Well, maybe the government wants to. Maybe the government is saying, look around. You guys, I mean, I have severe heart disease, okay, and other things. That's why I shouldn't have eaten all that, yum dinner, right? I'm still trying to run it off on my treadmill. But anyways, I mean, my point is, the American people are sitting here, okay? Here's how everything's working right now, right? Well, let me tell you how the world works, okay? Yeah, well, you guys know how it works for some people, okay? So, let me explain it for other people, okay? So, I turned around, and, yeah. Hold on a second. I went to the wrong website. Alright. Basically, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, you know, the government is going down the toilet, right? And I'm like, the government is not going down the toilet, right? And a lot of people are like, we're going down the toilet. Okay. We're going down the toilet, it's one thing, but I'd like to say for the record, we are not going down the toilet. No. I mean, a lot of people out there are saying we are, but we're not. We are not. We are not. A lot of people say we are, but we are not. That's the truth. Truth is, we are not, okay? Look at that. So it's telling me if I want this stuff, I have to wait till December. You see that? That's the problem with Amazon. You look at something and they're telling you gotta wait. It's like you always got to wait. It's like, what happened to not waiting, you know? I mean, I was looking for something the other day and it's like, yeah. A lot of you people message me and they're like, oh, really, you can't? Yeah, I can. Fortunately, I'm not complaining. That's the thing. I won't complain. So, yeah. I'm trying to find something I can't, so I may have to ask Chloe to look it up. Probably at Walmart, pick up a couple. Anyways, so the bottom line is, yeah, I rely on Chloe on a few things. Okay, so basically the problem is, you know, there's people out there, they're saying, well, what's going to happen? I don't know, okay? For all we know is the money will stay. The ones that got reloaded, they'll stay. The other people, they may complain and be like, this is unfair. We didn't get our food stamps, but every blue state did. I mean, I would like to hear from you guys in the comments what you guys think of this. I mean, the problem is Americans are basically sitting there and they're like, you know, they're getting more and more mad. But the problem is they can't get mad, and yet all these people say, oh, the Republicans are trying to destroy our country. We need to save it. Well, maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's a different story. I mean, look, in my opinion, I've said my opinion time and time again, and yet no one wants to listen to me. Yeah. Yeah, no one wants to listen to me. Because no one cares. Alright, so this says, right there. Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, that's all I hear every day is like, oh, Rita, we can't do this, we can't do that. Yeah, we can. Problem is, you don't want us to do that. That's the real truth. Yeah. Let me see here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the American people need to realize that we are literally hurting. And a lot of people sit there and say, but you can't, like my brother Ted would be like, but you can't take, you can't take our food stamps. Yeah, we can. We can take your food stamps because, frankly, oh, okay, here we go. So they're like, if you can't get the food stamps, then there's a problem. The problem is the thing is, the Supreme Court ruled. They were like, look, I know it may hurt Americans, but the thing is, we have to have it at the appellate level. And they said, okay, let it go to the appellate level. Fortunately, people are now going to basically be pissed off at Ketanji Jackson Brown, or Ketanji Brown Jackson, because she basically said, hey, but she knows the law, and the law basically is in the favor of the American people's president. The president says, hey, we can't pay this because there's no money. Fortunately, American people are like, the blue pea states are, that's why I've been getting a lot of negative flack, being like, Rita, you're a piece of crap, or Rita, you're a communist, or Rita, you're a socialist. No. What I am is I'm looking at the law. The law has to basically, literally, there's a lot of people that target me for a lot of stupidity and alcoholism and drug use, and you got to either let it go in one ear and out the other, or you basically got to bide your time, stay in your house, and don't deal with people. Fortunately, so basically, there's all these people, they're like, upset. A lot of people are upset at the American people who literally turned around and, is now pissed off that their food stamps aren't being issued. It's like, dude, look, till this gets solved, the government has literally turned around and turned off the faucet, okay? You guys got to understand, there is no money. If we turn around and we give food stamps to one group, we have to give it to all groups, and we can't afford it. But again, people sit there and say, but you want the kids to go hungry. No, I don't want the kids to go hungry. I want the kids to eat. Fortunately, the problem is you got the Republicans saying this is a non-starter, and then you got the Republicans saying this is a non-starter, and then you got the Democrats saying, well, we'll give in if you give us food stamps and 1 year health care. And then you got every person in America going, no, we voted to protect democracy. We voted, I'm talking about the blue people, the blue U.S., we voted to keep Trump out of power, and then this is a notice that in 2026, even if he tries to gerrymander, we're voting in droves to basically say our elections are free. We're not voting for whatever, right? And so the American people say, they're done. And yet all these people, how do we know the elections are fair? How do we know, which they are fair, I have to say it on YouTube because I can be censored. How do we know there's too much fraud, waste, and abuse? I can tell you, I've told you time and time again, I see fraud, waste, and abuse all the time, and they look the other way. That's it. They look the other way. Look around. This is considered, in my opinion right now, government fraud, waste, and abuse. Okay, it's fraud because the states decided to issue the food stamps without this. And Donald Trump's going, no. You can't do this because the government shut down. Literally. Now they got to figure out how to reverse this. And fortunately, right now, that's the problem. If you got your food stamps, you may not be getting food stamps in December because they're not they're going to toe the line and say, They're going to basically probably countersue by suing the states and being like, look, you issued food stamps. We issued 50%. You said the appellate court said no. You came back and said, okay, 65. The appellate court said no. Appellate court came in and said 100% dip into this pot and that pot and this bucket and that bucket of money. And went to the Supreme Court. Ketanji Brown Jackson said, administrative stay, appellate court level, gotta look it over. Meanwhile, the Republicans are getting flawless victory. Donald Trump wins Mortal Kombat. Instead, you got all these people now sitting on YouTube going, oh my God, we're not gonna eat. And yet, you're not going to eat. Look at, what was that person's name? Paxanda? Paxanda had a pizza tonight. And I think Paxanda is watching again, which Paxanda isn't. Paxanda was happy to have a pizza. But Paxanda also was like, yes, pizza, right? Paxanda prepped properly. What did you do? You sit there and like, oh yeah, I got my food bank card, and you're sitting on it, right? Like, oh well, I'll go out tomorrow. And all of a sudden the government could be like, oh, just turn it off and push a button. They can hit a thing and hit reverse. All the food stamp cards that aren't unloaded could be reversed. Think about it. It could be reversed. And yet, Supreme Court said, no, you got an administrative stay. So, this is getting wilder and wilder. But the main thing is when does it end? And people say, when does it end, Rito? We gotta eat. You know how many YouTubers I've been sitting there looking at while waiting? Oh yeah, Paxanda's right there, right? Paxanda, yeah. See, I got it right. Hey, Paxanda. Basically, the YouTubers turn around and they're like, how much the YouTubers are turning around, right? I see the comments. Well, I'm a disabled veteran. I need to eat. And they're like, get a job, you lazy bum. Why should we pay for it? This is what a lot of people say. People are like, oh, don't you have sympathy? And they're like, no. I mean, this is the comments right now. The comments are people need to literally complain about eating. And I'm thinking to myself, when does this end? I mean, look. Let me put it this way, okay? Let me tell you a story, okay? There's a lot of people in the American people that turn around and they want what they want. They want what they want. They literally want what they want. And yet, what happens? They turn around and they're like, oh, I need to eat, really? So it's okay if you want to basically sit there and say you need your food stamps, your measly $20, $30, $40 of food stamp. But then you ridicule people when they sit there and they spend $10 for a double cheeseburger and an unlimited soda and an unlimited fry at Red Robin because that's $10. That means you get unlimited meals, right? And literally, what do they say? Oh, well, that's not cool, Let me look up something, okay, just see is it still available. The $9.99 Big Yum. The Big Yum deal is Red's Double Tavern Burger. I had a Red's Double the other day. I think it was the cheese was the problem. Could have been the bacon. Bottomless side and a bottomless beverage for $9.99. Eat in only. I mean, that's a dang good deal. Yeah, you people say, oh, well, it's $10. It could have went to food. Right. But a lot of people would do that, right? Well, $10 you can get 10 cases, $10 get you 2 cases of ramen. That's 48 meals. One meal at a time. Fortunately, there's people out there like me that go and say, oh, well, I'm just going to buy 15 cases because I can. But problem is there's a lot of people out there in America going, you got to make things stretch. That's the thing. You stretch it out. You have to stretch your money out because money's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And yet, a lot of people sit there and they can't afford to make their money get tighter and tighter. I mean, look. Literally, I was just watching a video tonight where Mr. Steve Bannon was talking about how they could reverse things. Yeah, if you deport Mandani, the governor or the New York mayor, there's going to be a revolt, I bet. The people are going to revolt. Baxanda, what's awesome? And so, the American people, well, tell me what's awesome. I don't know what's awesome in your opinion, but So the food stamps literally get stopped, right? All these people are complaining about it. Oh, but the thing is you could spend $10 to get 48 ramens, or you can spend $10 and get unlimited fries, a drink, and a burger. And the burger's not unlimited, by the way. But point is, the American people are saying, hey, what do we do? And then people are still worried because they're like, oh, if the government doesn't open up, we have a problem. Well, think about it. They're now worried about their food stamps. I mean, literally. I mean, has anyone ever thought about that? I mean, literally. I was just talking to Chloe the other day about something. She said, can we do something? And I was like, what do you want me to do? She's like, well, can't we do something? And I'm like what? Because every time you turn around, she's always saying something, but it's like, yeah. I mean, I was talking to Chloe the other day, and she was talking about canned stuff, something in cans, right? It's like, yeah, you can get food in a can if you know what you're doing, but to me, it's whatever you do, I mean, I was talking to Chloe the other day. I can't remember what it was she was talking about, but there was this food. It was in a can, right? And I don't remember what it was. And Chloe said something to me like, yeah, it was like something or other that we got, as a gift. And, she's like, oh yeah, we got this, and it was like freeze-dried food. And I was like, I think it was like beef stew or something. It was like really expensive. It was like a big can like this. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty expensive. And Chloe's like, that is really interesting. I said, yeah, it's called Prepper's Food. So we got like 4 cans. Some of it's like rice and some of it's like, but anyways, you look at it, meat's more money. And, the thing is, the food bank gives it to us from time to time. And Chloe's like, that's great. Whereas people are like, oh, well, how do we eat? You go to the food bank and they help you. And if the food bank has got a problem, then there's a problem. Fortunately, the American people are turning around. So yeah, the Supreme Court blocks the fully fund SNAP. I just got that email from the Seattle Times. Paxanda says the ramen cases. Oh yeah, okay, show. Yeah, the ramen cases. I do. I'm $50 a day, girl. My son said he's $7.50 a day. $50 a day? What the heck? The ramen cases, I do. I'm $50 a day, girl. My son said he's $7.50 a day. Well, is that $7.50 a day, or 50 cents a day, or $50? It doesn't make sense. But anyways, the American people are sitting there, and now they're worried about their food. They're like, oh, how do we survive? I mean, I got people emailing me going, is the government going to reopen? Vortex, MAGA sucks. Yes, okay, that's great. Thanks, welcome to the channel, MAGA. I mean, these people are worried, and I said it and I called it, yesterday. I said Supreme Court's going to probably rule on this today, probably. They're going to basically say you have to fund it, and they're going to take the Supreme Court. Supreme Court's going to say no food stamps. Now, a lot of people in blue states already got. You never said what it is. I do think about these factors. Yeah, Paxanda, but you said you're $50 a day, and you said your son's at $7.50 a day. What are you talking about? $50 or 50 cents or $7.50? I mean, I'd like to know the numbers. Welcome to the channel, Vortex. Oh, is my stove still on? I didn't think. Did I turn off the stove? I heard something go click, or is that Moxie? It must be the dog. Yeah, because okay. Look, the American people said, that, the American people are now upset. They're, like, really upset. I mean, you should see the email, We talking budgeting. Okay, so is it $50 a day, or is it 50 cents a day for Paxanda, or is it 50 cents a day? Is it $50 a day, or is it $7.50 a day, or is it $750? We're talking budgeting, yes, but what you mean? You mean you gave these numbers, So, anyways, back to the story. So, anyway, so basically, for example, I'm 50 so far. Well, I'm 0 today. Actually, no, I spent 60. What was it? I spent 60 some dollars today. Yeah. And then I was thinking of buying some other stuff, but anyways, I have a couple other announcements for you guys in this video. I guess I can get out of the way tonight. Besides, the food stamps have been stalled. $50 a day, so your son's $750 a day? I don't know how someone can spend $750 a day. I mean, literally, I wouldn't. What about you, son, huh? What about you, gravy boy? Can you spend $750 a day? I don't think you can, I mean, we only spend like, what, $30 a month on you for gravy bones and dog food? It might be $50 a month on dog food and gravy bones. Yeah, look at the baby. Yeah, how's that beard of yours, huh? You finally clean up the gravy on it? He had gravy tonight for dinner. I gave him a little Salisbury steak gravy. He loved it. Oh. You and me both. So I didn't spend anything today, okay? So Chloe, of course, she turns around the other day. This was on Tuesday, right? She was leaving this Tuesday, 4 days ago. My good friend turns around and she spends, she spends $16 for lunch. I just had to add today, right? So today she says, oh, I'm at Costco. We have a Costco card, so I share with her. I'm at Costco. I'm spending $11.17 for lunch. Well, I'm sitting there going, okay, so I went online and I said, do you want me to add it to the budget? And she said, yeah. So I had my coffee. She calls me and she says, add it to the budget. I said, okay, I'm using a different cup today. The other one I found there was a crack in it. Yeah, I may have looked later, but anyways, so everyone loves the dog. So anyways, so she turns around and she spends like $11 today. And she's like, oh yeah, and I tell her, look, the more money you spend, the less money you have for the month. So she's like, oh, you're probably poorer than me. No, I'm more richer than you, Chloe, because I haven't spent anything. I mean, literally, let me just tell you, Amazon, right? I got Amazon orders coming in, and now they just changed the delivery date because Amazon's delayed because they fired people, right? So my brother Ted's like, oh, you should talk about the thing, okay? Since January 21st of 2025, the government and these companies have lost over 1 million jobs, okay? 1 million. And yet recently, I just see a thing where it said 3 trucks, okay? 3 UPS trucks fully delayed. It's like the truck was missed, or this truck was unloaded properly. This truck did this, right? So UPS, right? Apparently UPS is supposed to be shipping our last of our supplies for the month, right? So I tell Chloe, yeah, did you see that? And Chloe says, yeah, I saw that. So apparently they have delayed, quote unquote, the delivery. And so Chloe says to me, I love Chloe dearly, she's a funny person. She says, well, what do we do? I said, nothing, right? So she's upset because they turned around and, delayed it. And it's like, well, yeah, UPS is delayed, Amazon's delayed, FedEx is delayed. Why are they? I thought Costco had a giant $1.50. Exactly, that's the thing. Costco charges $1.63 with tax. It's 1/4 pound hot dog and a soda. But she was with a friend. She claims she owes the friend something. I don't know what it was. Chloe owes me all the time, more money than you could shake a stick at. But she goes and buys herself a hot dog and a soda and some cookies. Her friend orders a soda and a salad. Came to $11.17. By the way, for some of you out there that don't know, I was going to see, where did it go exactly? Because I have a story for you tonight about my therapist. My therapist here it is. So my therapist brought me this and left it on my door the other day. Now you're probably wondering, what's this symbolize? Well, I had a Dutch dwarf for 6 years and 7 months. It died 5 weeks ago today. Poor little bun. His name was Ebony. So she says this is in remembrance of Ebony. Ebony was about this size anyways, but still, see, it's a little Netherland dwarf. So Ebony is running around the Rainbow Bridge, and I have a little stuffed Ebony that reminds me of my Bun Bun every day. Miss you, Bun Bun. So, there you go. A little story for you. I thought Costco, they do, but Chloe decided to spend $11. Now, the other day, she was here visiting me on the island, spent the night. Spent $16 for the hot bar. Everyone knows Chloe loves the hot bar. And spent money on the hot bar. Sorry about my pants. They keep falling down. I guess, I don't know. They're the hot bar. And so, so she had hot bar and I had zero. And then Chloe was like, Chloe's like, well, how come you had nothing? Because I don't waste money. I mean, literally, people message me and they're like, oh, did you buy this? Did you get that? How come you're not spending any money? Because money is tight. Money is tight. That's the thing. I mean, has anyone looked at... So basically, the Midas Touch Network comes up from time to time. 102 things saying that Trump gets forced to pay. Yeah, that was an hour ago where they said the food stamps had to be forced, right? But now it's on hold. So I guess the truth is that... So apparently my internet is not liking me uploading these videos. Apparently that's the second one today. I don't know if it's my internet provider or whatnot, but I pay a huge amount of money every month for fiber, and this is the first time ever that I've had fiber problems where my laptop has a problem. Yeah, so my laptop has this problem where, I think I need it's got plenty of RAM, so I don't know what it is, but it's just like disconnecting, my router. It's like router's out, and then the Wi-Fi's out, and then the router's up. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But anyways, I don't want to have this error again because I hate, literally, I'm hardwired on my office. It doesn't ever go out. So I think it has to do with the Wi-Fi, the system. I don't know. But anyways, it just disconnected, reconnected, and yeah. So my adopted brother would be like, oh, the government is doing something to you. No, the government's not. They don't care what's going on my channel. That's the thing. If they did, they'd be like, oh, yeah, but they don't. So anyways, the point is food stamps. Scotus again ruled that they don't have to feed you guys. That's the thing. Apparently the Supreme Court's like, and if this keeps doing the way it is, they may be able to go and block Social Security, and that's something my father-in-law is always telling me to tell you guys about, because they could sit there and say, you guys don't need Social Security. We're going to block it, and then you'd have 200 million armed people dragging people out of the White House, probably. That's what I keep hearing my father-in-law say. 200 plus million people wanting their checks. I hope not. I hope it never comes to that. I'm not a violent person. I don't believe in violence. But, the thing is the American people are like, what are we going to do about it? I don't know. What are we going to do about it, right? So, a lot of people are talking about different things. And then you have a lot of other people that think, I've heard people tell me that old farts are more entitled to benefits than people like the younger generations. Or, I should just go ahead and die. They're like, oh, hurry up and die. It's like, literally, these people, they're getting to the point where they're rude. They're literally rude. They're just like, they think, that things happen. And I don't like it. And I'm not happy. And, I'm not happy that, people sit there and they're like, well, like, for example, like, how do you make food last, right? A lot of people, they go to the food bank and they're like, I went to the food bank and the food bank gave me 10 pounds of potatoes and 10 pounds of onions to make the potato and onion soup. Oh, but I don't like soup. They make fried potatoes and onion. Oh, I don't like fried potatoes and onion. It's like these people are so damn picky nowadays. They don't think. Someone gave them a whole fillet of fish, they'd be like, I don't like fish. Now, I'm not a fish eater, but you get the idea, you know. And then, you know, you have all these people, and they're just like, well, what can you do, and what will you do, and how are you going to handle things? Thing is, you got to handle life one bit at a time. And, you know, people are asking me all the time, is the government shutting down? Well, do you think the government's shutting down? Yes. Do you think the government is actually collapsing? Yes. My adopted brother, oh, the government's collapsing, we're going to have no money soon. Good. Maybe you'd prep more and not sit there and be like, oh, God, $992 of food stamps. Woot, woot. I'm just exaggerating his amount. I think he just spent like $42 in deli sandwiches the other day at Costco, or not Costco, it was Walmart. $42. I would have taken $42 and put it towards 10 cases of ramen. And I know Paxanda would be like cool, awesome, yeah. I mean, that would be about 10 cases of ramen just for 40, about a little over 4. That'd be like $8, a little, add $8 to it, and you got 10 cases of ramen. But guess what? They're like, cool, yeah. Instead, oh, well, I didn't want to cook, and Mom didn't want to cook, and Dad didn't want to cook, and Fartbox didn't want to cook, and Joe Bob didn't want to cook, and Franco didn't want to cook, and Maurice didn't want to cook. I mean, literally. I mean, look, do I cook? Yeah. I just be like, it's TV dinner day. Open up the fridge, put it out of the freezer, preheat the oven, put it on in my cake pan, clean my cake pan. When I'm done. So, oh yes, I love my kettle. Kettle what? I mean, who would have thought to spend $42 on sandwiches? I mean, I mean, my dad called me a cheap date because soup and salad makes me happy. So I seen you're a woman, Paxanda, and yeah, I mean, you want to talk about soup and salad? I went with my father-in-law and my significant other to Olive Garden once. They were making fun of Arab people, right? Women with hijabs, calling them like domestic terrorists. I thought that's not funny. But anyways, we're there. The joke is, it's not all you may eat, it's all they think you may have. Yeah, so I was at an Olive Garden and I had my fill. Anyways, soup and salad, right? I like gnocchi soup. And the lady got a really good tip out of me, right? That made me happy. The old man, he's like, oh, well, you know, you should. I mean, I don't like eating these salads at Olive Garden. I mean, they may be tasty to a point, but I would have rather had, you know, the soup and the breadsticks. I could fill up the soup and breadsticks and I'd be happy. But you know how they are. You need an entree. You need this. Well, you know, Chloe keeps telling me I need to go to Olive Garden. Yeah, if I go to Olive Garden, my bill goes through the roof. I mean, how many people can afford to go in there and spend $25 or $30 for a meal? And then you hear the old man say, oh, yeah, they do the soup and salad for lunch. Yeah, if you can get in there at lunchtime. And then they really don't want to serve you more than one bowl of soup and salad. For the ramen, let's see, I understand my dad would order us one thing funky to eat and said he wanted to make sure he could go anywhere and not starve. My mom used to limit me on food. My mom was one of those, we didn't have food stamps. She was a waitress, you know, she had her own things and business. And anyways, we go to like place like Sizzler. It's like, not all I can have shrimp. It's all I may have under mom's thumb. So then I learned quickly when my significant other and I would go to Red Lobster and had all you can eat shrimp fest. They put a bucket on their table. My husband would just fill it up, you know. We'd just fill it up. We're like, oh yeah. Meanwhile, my mom would be like, yeah, it's all you may eat, not all you can eat. Because if the way you two eat, you would basically bankrupt Red Lobster. Well, that wasn't the point. The point was it's all you can have, not all you may eat. Because Olive Garden, or these places that offer unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks, they're like, oh, unlimited, and then they're like, no, it's all you may have under our orders. The waitresses, and it's like, dude, I just want all you can eat. Because, that's the thing. But nowadays, it's like $14 for all you can eat soup, salad, breadsticks. And then they limit you. It's like, oh, you want soup or salad? And then you're like, soup. Do you want, and then they're like, okay. And then, that's not unlimited breadstick. So it's like, they're literally trying to charge you unlimited. $12.99 for the soup, $12.99 for the salad, $12.99 for the breadstick. You walk out of there and it's unlimited for $40. It's $45. What? 12, 12, 12, 36. Maybe, yeah. So the point is, there's these people out there that don't even remember. They're like, and then the numbers. I just saw the numbers today, right? Donald Trump turns around and says, funny story, that groceries for Thanksgiving is going to be cheaper than in 2024 before he got into the office. Really? That's funny because I just went and priced out turkeys the last week. And turkey's not on sale right now. Not on sale, people. It's $1. One place it's $1.69 a pound. And you can sit there and say, really? Yeah. $1.69. I don't remember what Walmart's charging. I know Walmart's charging more, but we can check Walmart real quick. I think Walmart was like, I think they charge by the ounce. They're like 9 cents an ounce, so it's like 9 times. We'll figure it out. But anyways, in my shopping cart, there's turkey. Here we go, turkey. Turkey currently at Walmart, standard price is 97 cents a pound. Or if you get 2 chickens, it's $1.42 a pound. Now you could sit there and say 2 whole chickens. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that for Thanksgiving dinner and call it a day, right? But Chloe's like, we need rib roast. And then they charge $2.48 for the market side bone-in hams. And then they charge $3.47 for a duck. And then rib roast is $14.87, right? So it says right here, we tried to save your cart. Oh, but we couldn't. Yeah, well, that's because I don't want to do that. That's the thing. I'm still trying to choose it. They're like, your reservation expired for Wednesday. Who cares? Anyways, I just wanted to see if they were going to charge me $6.99 for pickup and put it in the cart. That's the other thing. I love how you just pull in and be like, yeah, my name is Aries. I want my groceries. And they come out with the thing, I mean, that one lady, she looked at me the other day. She looked at me and she goes, so you're Aries. Yeah, I'm Aries. I'm here to get Aries groceries. And I'm also here to get Chloe's groceries. And I'm here to get Peggy's grocery. Peggy's like, I'm Peggy. Lady comes out and there's like a cart just pushing out, and then another cart. And then we're like loading it up in all these coolers, and dumping ice and stuff. And the lady's like, oh my God, and I was like, we're not going hungry for the month. Yo, my son, when he was like 8 years old, made us have to buy lunch and dinner because he went crazy on all-you-can-eat crab legs. Yeah, I've never seen all-you-can-eat crab legs unless it was at Sizzler. I mean, literally. I mean, thing is the food is the food, But thing is, there's people out there that don't realize, they're always worried, And Chloe, she always has this, problem where she's like, she's like, oh yeah, I'm doing so good on my budget. And I'm rolling my eyes going, yeah, if you basically, I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, I just got you to fall back on. Yeah, if I'm going to sacrifice my toilet paper. You didn't hear that from me, peeps. I still got to order more. But, the thing is I try to order my supplies on Mondays and only on Mondays, so it comes in. But then I get these harebrained ideas, People say to me all the time, Rita, how do you know what to buy? Because, you're a prepper. How do you buy? Well, I have this problem where I go in, and sometimes something pops into my head with the little, I call it the little rabbit running on the little wheel. Mommy, yeah, my name's Anyways, pops in my head, and I'm like, oh, I should get some sparkling cider. And then all of a sudden, I'll be sitting there going, oh yeah, I think I need some wavy potato chips. Oh yeah, I should get some Cheetos. Oh yeah, I need some more hot dog buns. Next thing you know, Chloe brings me groceries. She says, chips, hot dog buns, hamburger buns, frozen chicken patties. Oh yeah, I think there's like chicken nuggets too, right? Spicy chicken nuggets. Always asking me about that too. And it's like, dude, does anyone ever come with a do not give me any idea control? Because every time I think about things, right? I mean, there's like, she's like, oh, did you see their spicy chicken? What is it? Spicy chicken something or other. And I'm like, Chloe, don't tell me this. And she's like, oh yeah, there's spicy chicken something something. And you're just sitting there going, Chloe, don't say that. And she's like, did you say? I mean, literally, it's like, do you guys ever come around and be like, yeah, I mean, I love Chloe dearly, but sometimes she just sits there and says, hey, did you see that plant-based thing? No, I don't care for plant-based chicken. Well, did you see these ones? No. Did you see these ones? No. Did you see those ones? No. Did you see those chicken whatever? No. Did you see those ones? They look like buffalo chicken. No. Did you see these ones? Yes. How come you didn't buy those ones? Because they're not spicy. Oh, did you see these ones? Nope. Did you see those ones? No. I mean, I just love how Chloe's always pointing things out, you know? And you're like, did you see this? No. Did you see that? No. I mean, I just love how Chloe points it out all the time. Then when you do look at it, you're like, yeah, and you're like laughing because you don't know what you're thinking about. Yeah. And then Chloe just chuckles with you and says, yeah. It's like the other day, Chloe was talking about, what was she saying? Something about this spicy chicken and gumbo. Oh, yeah, look at this. Spicy chicken and gumbo, sausage gumbo. I want to try a couple of those cans. See, this is the thing. I put in something, next thing you know, I'm walking out with 4 cans of soup. And then Chloe's always like, oh, well, at least you're doing something right. And you're like, shut up, Chloe. I love Chloe dearly, you know. Like this. Spicy chicken honey biscuit. Yeah, I'd like a spicy chicken honey biscuit, but I'm not paying that price. That's the thing. Chloe turns around and she always laughs because, you know, yeah. And then when I walk out the door, Chloe's like, well, I went to Walmart the other day and, you know, this is Chloe, you know, Chloe's funny. And I'm like, yeah. And I went to Walmart the other day, and I'd be like, yeah. And she'd be like, anyways, I went there, and I came back, and I went in to load the groceries up, and I'd be like, yeah, that's great. You got groceries loaded up. That's cool. I picked them up, and I realized that your grocery bill was a little more than I wanted to see. And you sit there, and you're like, okay, because you know how Chloe is. Chloe's just like, can't you cut it down? And you're like, well, the thing is I was looking to buy this and buy that, and you know, she's just like, yeah, and then your bill's too high. And it's like, well, I had this problem, you see. And she's like, yeah, you see something you want to try and you buy it. And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, you need to cut that out, you know, because that's my problem. I'll look at something and I want something, and next thing I'm walking out with $100 groceries. And then Chloe's like, how long is that going to last me? Well, the other day, like I said, I was pushing a shopping cart around at Walmart. Turns out I was buying, I loaded it up at the top, you know. We got it all in. But the thing is, I didn't want to go in and pull in. And, yeah, I'm here to get my groceries. I walked in. I started pushing a cart. Next thing I was walking out with, what was it, like $277 in groceries, which I'm still eating. You know, people are like, $270, yeah. And then people are like, and one guy was like this. One guy's like, so you're spending your food stamp money on crap, right? It was like frozen banquet stuff. And you know, I looked at the guy and I said, so I pushed the cart around, and finally he's going up the line, and I'm like, would you like to go first? He said, no, I'll wait. So as he's doing it, I'm like sitting there, and I use my debit card. The guy looked at me and says, that's not a food cart. Yeah, I know. I don't get out much, so I'm loading up again. My freezer will be full. This guy's going, so you're using your debit card to buy groceries. But I said, oh, yeah, I only get $24. You think $24 is going to go far? It may cover like what, 4 gallons of milk. You could probably get 4 gallons. Let's see, 6 gallons if we. Let's see, 7, 21. 21, so 6 gallons of milk at Costco. Just to add another. Let's see, then add another $3, and you got 8 gallons of milk. Yeah, 6, 8, yeah, 8, 10, yeah, 10. Yeah, you know, because Costco's bulk, but we don't have the room for it, you know. So, but my point is there's a lot of people out there that were always, you know, complaining about that, and to me, it's like, why? You know, a lot of people are like, you know, so. But the point is, the food bank is, you know, people are like, oh, the food bank. Just get your food at the food bank and wait. I mean, I just got an email about the food bank yesterday. Anyways, a little note that said, you know, they're going to be providing food benefits, you know, of turkeys. And then hams for Thanksgiving. So I was like, okay, I can live with that. Fortunately, Chloe's like, do we really need turkey? Yes. Can't we get prime rib? No, because the thing is, money doesn't grow on trees. This is what I'm trying to teach you guys. If I can sit there, right? My sister Pee Wee used to say, "Wow, when I was broke or whatever." I don't remember what Sister Pee Wee said, but something to the effect of, "I never bought a prime rib roast." Well, right now in this day and age, we're not supposed to eat it. You know. Well, what do you think, Paxanda? I think I'm wrong. Should I just go buy the rib roast? I mean, I think frankly, we got to be frugal right now because it's the 7th of the month, and we have what 20. What'd they say? It's 30 days in November 30th. So, let me look. I haven't used Google Calendar in a while. Here we go, calendar. Yeah, so today is the 7th, right? So that means you have 3 weeks. 3 weeks is Black Friday. So 20 days until Thanksgiving. So you got 7... So, 21, 22, 23, 24 days till payday, right? 24 days. So, people are like, can you make it 24 days? Yeah, I can. You know, because it's how you handle it, you know. A lot of people are like, well, do you think you can? Yeah. So anyways, like I said, I can't keep delaying my game time, okay? But, you know, the point is, the Supreme Court ruled. People are now in panic mode yet again. They're like, how are we going to eat? And I heard it was all the blue states that they went ahead and steamrolled it, right? And the red states, they were just sitting there like, oh, well, you know, we'll issue it later. And yet the blue states said, well, our people need to eat. You see, this is the problem with blue states, people. I should vent for a second before I leave. Fraud, waste, and abuse. Think about it. Fraud, waste, and abuse. American people turn around and they see, you know, they're like, oh, but our kids need to eat. Your kids need to eat, yes, but did you prep you properly? Well, we're struggling. Okay, so you're a struggling family. Your kids need to eat. Now, I know Paxanda, I'm getting to know Paxanda. I think Paxanda, I think Paxanda seems cool, so let me check something real quick. My channel, Paxanda, please bear with me for a second. You seem really cool. Your kids need to eat. I need to get another cup of coffee. But, I'm getting to know Paxanda. I think Paxanda, I think Paxanda seems cool. So let me check something real quick. My channel. Paxanda, please bear with me for a second. You seem really cool. Your kids need to eat. Very good. I know Paxanda. I'm getting to know Paxanda. I had to do it. My brother's Paxanda's never I think around anymore. But anyways, cool, so I think that's pretty good. Let me I don't know if I can do it from here. My channel. I could. I did not know what to do from that. Feel free to do commenting, Paxanda. Yeah, anyways, I just want to say to you while I get my refill of coffee, congratulations. Right, Mopford? Yeah, my name is Mopford Rudemaker. Thank God we got coffee tonight. Alright. Seems they're gonna make some more coffee now. They got oh, is it even in there? Yeah, cool. So basically, a lot of people have been asking me about the government thing, and let me just say, the government is running on fumes. However, people shouldn't be complaining about. Yes, but when I said congratulations, I meant with the wrench next to your name. Anyways, where was I? So, anyway, so basically, the government's shutting down, right? And a lot of people are complaining their food stamps have been taken. Thing is, you can't complain about something you don't have. So, 25 states didn't get food stamps, the other 25 did. And then now they're talking about, we don't even know how they're going to reverse it. People are like, oh, they won't. Really, the government should reverse it due to the fact that if they're going to, literally, the thing is, the food stamp thing, if there is, sorry, I'm not trying to be a bigot to anyone, but there's 12 appropriation bills. We can't just basically willy-nilly pick and choose what states get food stamps and which ones have to be on hold. And when the government says, oh, you have to pay full benefits, and all of a sudden 25 states basically dump full benefits, and all of a sudden people are like, hey, we got our benefits, and then people are like, you guys are bigots. Look, I've said time and time again, I don't like saying this, but $24 to me is nothing. I'd rather have the $24 going to some kid that needs it right now. I've had my dinner. Do you think I'm complaining? No. I'm brewing up more coffee. You see me complaining? No. The only thing I'm complaining about is how toasty it is, on it. And, so, oh, there you are, Higgins. Yeah, I see how you're hiding in the shadows, not wanting to comment. That's one of my brothers, the Higgins. The Higgins, yes, I see how it is. You're sitting there, and yeah. However, you should comment more about the food stamp thing, the Higgins. Because, frankly, Higgins, I think it's a bunch of BS what came down the pipe, don't you? Anyways, I got a game to play soon, people, but my point is the Supreme Court shot it down and said, we're going to block it temporarily for an administrative thing. The thing is, in my opinion, people are like, well, if we don't have our food stamps, our kids are going to go hungry, or, the kids shouldn't go hungry, but the problem is the government is trying to make, people say, oh, the government's trying to make a lesson. No, the government isn't. The government has no money. It'd be like me saying, we terminate all the military contracts to pay the military workers. Literally. It's like, the point is the American people are turning around, right? I'll tell you what I hear, okay, from my own perspective on the island. They're talking about, and, the Higgins will argue with me till the cows come home. Here, it's the government's oligarchy is kleptocracy, stealing everyone's money and trying to get as much money as possible before their second term's up. Okay. Because, they're like, oh, yeah, it's a donor-funded ballroom. And then they're like, all the contracts the government has given for the ballroom donations is like $290 billion. So let's just say $1/3 trillion, maybe even $500 billion. Let's just move it to $500 billion as a goalpost. $500 billion, we're supposed to be smiling because that's what the government contracts cover for this ballroom. Really? So basically, there's another stupid my food stamps portal says pending. Right, so there you go. So, and I don't even want to ask how much you're supposed to be getting, the Higgins, because every time you do, you're like, oh yeah, $982. See, I had to throw that in there, Pack Santa, because I like to poke him. He's a honey badger, and I'm a polar bear, and I've always been a polar bear. So when he says poke, 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 I'm actually poke, poke, poke. Of course, we know he's not a porcupine. Otherwise, he'd be showing. I'd be a polar bear with a mouthful of quills. Anyways, back to the story. I hear they're pretty painful too. The porcupine. I was watching a guy in Alaska where he said this dog chased a porcupine. But anyway, back to the story. So the Higgins and others, my adopted brother Ted, both of them brought up emails on the government shutdown and how the government could falter and we could lose our economy. Well, I saw a video today by Chloe sent me a video. It was basically the same thing about the economy, but here's the funny part about the economy, right? It's a video you wouldn't expect coming from an economy thing. It was basically like anonymous. It was like, yeah. So, the thing is, all these things happening down the pipe, right? And they're like, talking about the economy. And I'm thinking, yeah, if you like the economy, go for it, right? So basically, people are talking about this. And, I was watching a video yesterday about this guy. And, my brother, Ted, he's like, well, that guy who did that video? It's like watching Glenn Beck. No, this guy's got that gravelly voice that talks about doom and gloom, okay? Oh, smell that. Oh, yeah, I can smell that freshly brewed coffee. A lot of you guys are asking me what coffee I'm drinking. Well, I'm drinking this classic Supreme coffee by Signature. It's like a Safeway brand. It's not bad, but it ain't great. It's coffee. Now, let me tell you why it's great. So Chloe went shopping the other day. I told her get the cheapest coffee they had. Now my adopted brother, he's always talking about how frugal and cheap I am. But I always give my adopted brother a gift card or two. Of course I should get him to go to work soon. But so Chloe brought me 4 of these cans. Right? 4 of these cans. $3.99 each on sale. I was like, grab 4 cans and right, that's max you can have. 4 cans, classic roast. Ground coffee, Signature Select. It's like a lot of grocery stores around the country uses the Safeway brand. And it's not bad for the price. So to me, I'm like, okay, 4 cans, $3.99 each, right? 1 can already lasts me like 4 days. Hey, yesterday she was talking back accounts and dollars never being correct. It's horrible. Hey, yesterday she was talking back accounts. Oh, bank accounts and dollars. Was it me that was talking about it? And you said it never being correct. Bank accounts and never being correct. Are we talking about my channel or someone else's Paxana? Because frankly, if it was my channel, I was talking about how these guys are talking yesterday about going to the bank and they had to give 3 different things and then sign a waiver just to get the cash out. And they're like, I've never seen this. And the government is like, saying, don't take your money out. Is that what you were talking about? Yeah, yesterday she was talking bank accounts and dollars never being correct. Was it me? I wasn't talking being correct. If it is, I beg your pardon. I'd like to know what you guys are talking about because frankly, because the point is the American people, they yeah. Because the bank account thing is different, but the point is the American people, they're a lot of. Oh, I was talking last night, Paxana, about banks and the government, and people are talking about banks and the government. Apparently the government turned around and dumped like $125 billion in liquidity recently to stabilize the big banks so they don't fail or something. That's what I heard. And then I heard, the banks aren't basically allowing people to take out large amounts of money. And then, hold on, what does it say? Decaf coffee. Well, thank God it's Higgins has decaf because I could not stand decaf. Anyways, I think, anywho. So the government basically turns around, right? They don't want you getting into the bank account, but they're like saying, they're saying that you don't own your own banks and you don't have money. A lot of people are talking about the mark of the beast or digital currency, and if we had digital currency, you can't only buy what they want you to buy. And it's like, dude, we already have digital currency. Think about it. My adopted brother said, oh, yeah, they're not going to let you go to the bank. Yeah, they do. I walk in every month and I go, hey. Lady's like, you want your usual? I'm like, yeah. She's like, 2 rolls of quarters and $100 bill. Now, before you ask, the quarters are for laundry. The $100 bill is to pay the taxi service. So the taxi service turns around and gets their taxi paid. Because I do a donation. Yeah. Let's see. Shoot, I know it's here. People say don't pay attention, pump, and always use a person because they doubled at the pump. Say you spend 30 in gas at the pump, take 60 for some. Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, I was just talking to someone the other day about something, right? Someone said to me the other day, right? Let me tell you a story. So the other day I was talking to a guy, right? And this guy I know, right? And we were talking the other day, and it's about the pump. So, guy turns around, right? And I said to him, so you got a 100-gallon fuel tank. He's like, yep, diesel. Yep, $6 a gallon. Before you say, oh, gallon's cheap. Trust me, I know where I'm going with the story. He goes in, he does his business, he pulls in. I'm like, $600, a little over $600. No, it was a little over $600, right? His tanks were nearly dry. And by the way, 100 gallon is the standard fuel capacity for a catamaran. It's 40 feet. So 40 feet, right? Fuel tank. And then the fuel tanks have to divide 50 and 50. So each engine's got 50 gallons, unless you run on one engine, which is not really good for a wide berth boat. So it's like $600, right? So $600 plus for a catamaran, right? Other people have fuel tanks. I know a guy has a 6,000 gallon tank, right? 100 gallons is 600. Think of 6,000 gallons, right? That's like 30. That's not even. I could look it up real quick. I mean, it's like, so you have $6 a gallon times 6,000. You're looking at $36,000 to tank up your fuel, and it's bonkers. I mean, people are not even driving anywhere. I mean, I saw the other day, but did anyone see the government issued things where they just said a new notice that said millions of cars are going to be repoed by government employees because the government's defaulting because Uncle Sam's not paying their wages because of it? I mean, think about it. Now, let's talk about that for a second, because I really do want to talk about something. I need to do something. I usually put most of my coffee in a thermos to keep it warm, and then the rest of the coffee stays in the carafe, which I drink. So let me just do that real quick, and I'll tell you the story. So basically, the government is going to basically either make the Republicans really pissed off, all right? The government turns around. These government employees, now my adopted brother, the Higgins, would be like, oh, no, it's the Democrats' fault. No, it's actually both parties' fault. You see, the Democrats is now not willing to take a knee so they can basically pass a budget or continuing resolution. They think they have a mandate for the people to give them health care. But then, as you guys know, Chuck Schumer said, well, I'll pass a bill for 1 year extension of the health care subsidies. And, you know, John Thune, the Senate guy's like, nope, not going to happen. We're gonna kill your health care thing, right? Well, think about it. Now, I want to ask you guys a question here, because, frankly, they're both at fault, Democrats and Republicans. But since we're here on the argument, we're arguing about other things. Let me tell you what's going on in my opinion. What the heck? Yes, Chrysler Jeep charging vehicles. They said they won't be able to work on the solution until December. Actually, the Higgins, I have given up alcohol. I've been clean, sober for 30 days, and I don't want to go back to alcohol. So you guys can go laugh all you want, but no, I'm not playing with alcohol. I'm not playing sink the bottle cap. I'm not beer cap or whatever. I'm not drinking. You guys can drink all you want, but I think right now and in the future for the next 30, 40 years, I'd like to have my mind sober, and so everyone else can be idiots, whether they're alcoholics or drug users. I'm not touching. You can touch all you want, but I won't. I don't support alcoholism, and I won't support drugs. And I'm not going to do any of it. Yeah, none. Zero. Zip, zap, zilch. So. And the third person, J-Rod, says smoke weed. Sorry, dude. Or dudette. No, not going to. Not in my subsidized housing. There's a zero drug policy, and I don't want to smoke weed, and I don't plan to smoke weed. I plan to drink coffee. And by the way, J-Rod, welcome to our channel. Now, if I keep getting distracted with the comments, I'm never going to ever finish this video. And then it'll be another night where I don't get video games. So, trust me, I want my game time. Alright. So, basically, yesterday we're talking about the government banking system failing. Hey, silver and copper is now added to the precious metals. Yeah, well, silver is easy. Copper... Silver has gone up in price too. Has anyone ever seen that? If you invest in silver, good. If you don't invest in silver, good. Anyways, most people can't invest in silver because they can't eat silver. And then a lot of people say if the government collapses, who's going to buy your silver? Yeah. Anyways. So basically, cars are being repoed. I blame both Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats are like, well, we're not taking a knee now. We have a new agenda, a new policy, a new mandate that we basically won all the smaller elections. That is, 2026, we're taking back the House and Senate because the American people are saying, look, we don't want a tyrant in the White House that blew up our East Wing to build a crappy, ugly ballroom. And we're not going to let him go blow and sink boats and anything else. Blah, blah, blah. So then, you saw the thing today. Apparently, it's got to go to Scotus now again. Oh, Scotus! My ruling, I got ruled down in invading Portland. I've been to Portland. There's nothing there, man. But still, if you want the National Guard in Portland, you have to go to Scotus because apparently Portlandiers is like all hooting and hollering. Yeah, we own you, stupid rednecks. Mm-hmm. But think about it. The American people, it's either you're for the Democrats or you're for the Republicans or you're not for anything. It's fun, Rita. Coins? Yeah, coins. Scotus? Scotty Scotus? Yeah, whatever. That's cool. So the Supreme Court, like I said, they're probably going to rule the Portland thing and then the Chicago thing and the invasion of things, and yeah. Anyways. It's fun, Rita. Coins? Yeah, well, the thing is coins are supposed to be there for emergencies, for prepping, but silver's gone up in price, gold's up in price, copper, I've never seen a store that sold much copper. I think most of our pennies are made of something besides copper. Yeah. Anyways, the U.S. government, like I said, has ruled food stamps have to be stopped. And, that means the thing is a lot of people are throwing a fit because they think that they're not going to eat. And I, for one, think if you're going to complain about it, then it's then you got to realize that a lot of people sit there and they say, well, I'm entitled. Okay, you're entitled. That's cool. And then other people say, it's for the children. Okay, that's cool. But we need to realize the government just sat there and said, no. A lot of people say this is a dry test run for whatever they're going to do. Oh, well, I got messages. Yes, we own you pieces of crap because of the passport thing today. Or yesterday. That was yesterday I got messaged. Does it affect me? No. You see me worrying about it? No. You see me worrying about anything? No. What am I worried about? Nothing. Why am I not worried about it? Because I don't care. What I care for is, hearing these people say, well, my grandkid can't eat because we don't have enough money. But it's okay for you to slam down your vodka over there while your grandkid goes hungry. That makes me wonder, you see? And then you wonder why the country is going down the pooper. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so, all these people. Yeah, I mean, literally, you hear all these people and they're always talking about different things. Yeah. So, you see all these people, they're always like, oh, you gotta do this and you gotta do that, and yeah, I mean, literally, there's these people, that, my sister, she's just like, what happened to the world, when it comes to Trumpism. And it's like, dude, the world's not ready for Trumpism. I'm sorry, the Higgins and Paxanda, it was just a joke, The thing is these people are always messaging the stupidest thing in the world, like, we're not ready for Trumpism, or, Trumpism's going down, or Trumpism's dead, and, we the people, and, they're like, every person who wakes up and basically votes blue is saving democracy. Yeah, and yet the only reason why they're voting blue is because they don't want they don't want their handouts being taken away. I mean, literally, the thing is, they're like, oh, we have an overwhelming mandate to give the people stuff that the people want. Really? So the people want deportations. Cool. Yeah, because that's really cool. People want no food stamps. They want to go hungry. I mean, literally. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I see all these things from different points of view. It's like, family stops talking because a guy gets assassinated, and you're like, hey, whenever I bring up religion, you're like, one person's like, oh, a guy got assassinated for talking the Bible. Really, that's funny. And the reason I said funny at the time was because when I stayed with my family, I have my, and I turn around and I say, well, you tell me not to preach the Bible, and yet you turn around, and then this guy turns around and he preaches the Bible, but it's okay, but if I preach it to you guys, it's wrong. No one listens to me anyways, right? Well, all of a sudden, they get angry because, I'm like, no one listens to me. Yeah. I mean, literally, they're my subscriber, they're my moderator, my YouTuber, my follower, my family. And then I make a joke like, guy gets assassinated because apparently, in your opinion, he's preaching the Bible. And then when I preach it, I get told to shut up because they don't want to hear the Bible from an ordained minister like me. But it comes to him, and then I chuckle, well, people don't listen to me, haha. Haven't heard from them since September. Yeah. Rita likes the catnip better. No, I don't. I don't eat catnip. Catnip is something that can make cats drunk, apparently, or look drunk or high. I mean, that's what I hear. I don't know if it's true or false, so. I mean. I don't know if my family's angry about me going out, So, the last message was the recent crap going on, a bright young man assassinated speaking the Bible. Yeah, and I said if it was that Charlie guy, I mean, I never heard him speak the Bible, but yeah, families should basically wake up because it's not funny that, he shouldn't have been assassinated, but point is, I made the joke and my family's not talking, yeah. Well, that's why it's in a book when they can't handle the frequency. Well, that's why it's in a book when they can't handle the freaking book. Yeah, well, apparently there's a lot in a book, but apparently if you're talking about the Bible, there's people out there that believe in the Bible, people believe in the Quran, people believe in the Gita. I mean, it just depends on what you like to read. The way someone sounds saying something. Yeah, well, the thing is, I didn't try to insult my family. The point was no one listens to me. They are like, oh, don't talk about the Bible. And then I don't talk about it, and all of a sudden, guy gets assassinated, and I'm like, well, no one wants to listen to me because when I preach, they don't listen anyways. But my point is I like the Bible. I also like this. I mean, the book is just a book, something with paper in it. I mean, I'm also working on this one. This one's kind of weird because this one is printed from right to left. So you got to be. This is where I start. So as I get to slower and slower to the right or to the left, pages get different. So it's like the way the Arabs printed their paper, they printed it from right to left. Yeah, so this is the Holy Quran from Turkey. Turkey. The truth goes without saying anything. Yeah, well, the truth goes without saying anything. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the Arabs and as an ordained minister, I learned that the Arabs and the Jewish people, they wrote from right to left. So everything I read here is from right to left. And anything I read from, like this book, everything's from left to right. So, like this is right there, right? Now, I have a hard down version that is in Arabic too. That's also Arabic English, but this is the English version. And I find this Quran to be the best in my opinion because it has the subchapters right there, so you can always understand. It's like talking about Bible retread stories like Moses, Joseph. What's those other Bible prophecies? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Jonah, Jesus, yada yada yada. You just skip them. Prophet Mary. I think they said Mary, the mother of Jesus, was a prophet. I don't remember, but anyways, you get the idea. So, the good Lord literally is like, it's an interesting book. Let's just say, and I read it, and Chloe, my friend, she's like, she thinks that to get into heaven you need to believe in Islam, because you need structure in your life, and you need other issues. And to me, I'm like, okay, cool. So my point is it is an interesting read, is what I'm saying. And so to me, yeah. So apparently the judge is now ruling that federal employees' emails are to be blamed for Democrat shutdown violated the First Rights Amendment. Yeah. What's this about Taiwan? Taiwan again? X? I don't want to see X. I just wanted to see the headline by saying see more. Smooth president all parties? For what? What is the Chinese doing this time? Oh, who cares? So, apparently a submarine from 2024, or to the, yeah. Oh, yeah, here we go. This looks good. What do we got here? Let's see. Yeah, I was going to email this company, too. I had a couple questions. Yeah, well, I got a couple ideas I want to basically write. You know, I like writing letters, so I got some letters I need to write for next week for business on games. You know, I like writing on video game reviews, but right now I'll tell you what I really want is my game time. So, and you know, you guys got the update. The Supreme Court ruled, and I've already been yapping for 1 hour and a half again. And you know, my game time is very important to me. And you know, the point is, you know, when it comes to what's going to come down the pipe, it all depends on the government. I mean, literally, people are saying, is the government going to bankrupt the country? Well, could be if the people don't go back to work. But right now, people aren't buying anything. I mean, literally. I mean, you know, all of a sudden food stamps have been issued. People are like sitting there being like, oh yeah, I got my food stamps. I don't have to worry. And all of a sudden their food stamps may be taken tomorrow because, well, they got to worry about why their food stamps were taken, you know. And then they're like, well, you know, they just can't take it after it's filled. Actually, the government is not going to tell us what they're going to do or not do, you know. That's the thing. The government ain't going to tell us how to handle things. And so to us, we just got to wait and see how it plays out. Plain and simple. Plus fact, you know, I let the game soon. So. Anyways. So. I mean. People are going to be worried all the way to Thanksgiving. Will the government reopen? I don't know. I mean, right now our poll is 7 people. They all took the poll. They all said no. Well, right now with the Democrats thinking they have a mandate, everything's going to go to limbo. People are like, oh yeah, limbo. Yeah, limbo until, I mean, honestly, I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, if you look at 8 votes. All right. Do you think the government will be open by Thanksgiving? 25% said yes. 75% said no. That tells you right there. We only know. I mean, we have 20 days until Thanksgiving. They're saying the government may reopen by, quote, unquote. I love how they say this. Quote, unquote. On the 17th. It could be, but that's like 10 days before Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, Senate Majority Leader said the healthcare is a non-starter. So apparently, they're doubling down, saying, you know, we're going to make the libs eat our wieners. I'm sorry, I had to be funny here. By telling them that they're going to eat our wieners, or whatever. You know, I'm trying to be funny here. Because we're not taking a knee for them. Their peasants aren't going to shut the government down. I mean, remember, I saw a guy today calling the Democratic libtards. They were saying, quote unquote, that they're domestic terrorists and they're socialistic commie terrorists. So a lot of them are like, if we give in and we don't get our mandates, then we will have the country gone. You got other people saying 2026, baby, we're going to steamroll them all. And, you know, I'm talking from their point of view. We're going to steamroll them all. And then we're going to tell we libtards are like, we ain't going back to the closet. We're going to steamroll you. But we're not accepting Trumpism as real, you know, whatever. And, you know, there's people out there that are like, what happens if that happens? Well, you can always rebuild and rebrand. Trump brand in 2028 is Vance. You know, Vanceism. But does Vance have the actual personality? I mean, I'm just going to sit back and see what happens in the next. Freaking kidding me again. And again. And again. And again. And again. It's like, when, I'm the good Lord, I think, is telling me I need to slow down and not do many of these videos, because apparently I just checked my router and it looked fine. I don't mind the fasting. And also in Atlas, are you talking about you're fasting because of a comet, 1219 comet, or are you fasting because you're fasting for religious purposes?